From Chicago, Illinois, Carmen Salvino. From San Mateo, California, Billy Hardwick. Two more of the world's greatest bowlers on championship bowling in a three-game match. From the Firestone Bowl A Rama lanes in Akron, Ohio. Hello, everybody. From Akron, Ohio, it's championship bowling. This is Fred Wolf with two more of our field of 24 of the world's greatest bowlers in weekly competition, going for a purse of $70,000. This week, the winner receives $1,000. The loser, $500. 5 strikes in a row in any game, we start a $250 bonus. $50 for every strike on top of the 5. For a perfect score, $300, $10,000 additional. All competition is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. Each bowler will make 2 appearances. Total for the 6 games will qualify our 2 finalists with a $15,000 added purse during the final 2 weeks here on Championship Bowling in Akron, Ohio, the rubber capital of the world. Working with us this week, Pat Patterson from St. Louis, the big smiling Irishman. Pat, we got a couple of pretty good boys here this week.
We got 2 of the greatest in the country, Fred, and I think some of that bonus money is going to be paid out this afternoon.
Bonus money. You like that? That 5 in a row.
I think Billy and Carmen like a little bit of it, too.
Now, you've been on championship bowling. On that 5th ball, does it get a little heavy, you think?
Well, actually, the way I've been bowling, the second one gets heavy for me.
Second one gets heavy. Pat, I'll see you in just a moment up there. Let's introduce the boys now to the folks here in Akron, Ohio. Introducing first the champion of championship bowling in Parkersburg, West Virginia, the greatest actor in the Professional Bowlers Association, Carmen Salvino.
Pretty good, thank you.
In pretty good shape this week?
I feel real great. Just hope I carry my hits.
Carry your hits.
But first I have to hit the pocket.
You have to. You know you're tangling with here, don't you?
Yes, I'm familiar with this youngster.
Pretty tough kid.
He's been bowling real well the last couple of years.
All right, let's get him out here, ladies and gentlemen. From San Mateo, California, Billy Hardwick. Now the rules are simple. You boys have flipped the coin for the starting alley, and somebody won the toss. You won the toss.
Right.
What is your choice?
I'll start on 26.
26. That's the right side. That means you will start the 1st and 3rd game. Billy, you will start game number 3. $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the runner-up. 5 strikes in a row, $250 bonus starts. You all acquainted with the rules? Will you shake hands? And we'll get this thing going. Are you ready, Akron? Here we go. Billy Hardwick winning the toss, starting on the right side. That puts Carmen Salvino on the left, lane 25. All games starting on the left. Salvino, first frame, first game, championship bowling. And he gets up there and really picks it up. Salvino getting away with a beautiful strike. Boy, some great action there, Pat.
The pins have been falling real well in practice, Fred. There's a lot of action down there. I look for a lot of big scores. A lot of thin ones will carry.
Billy Hardwick, the youngster from San Mateo, California. 3-finger ball, fingertip, uses the first 2 fingers, reaches out and puts one in that pocket as good as you possibly could put it, but the 10-pin stands. And Pat, we start off with the same question. Is that a tap or not?
Well, you get a lot of argument on that point, Fred, but I strictly believe it's a tap, yes. You can't put the ball any better than that.
They like to say that there's only one tap, and that's the 8-pin. I wonder sometimes myself. That ball was in that pocket beautifully. At the 10-pin, Hardwick covers. So at the end of the first frame, Salvino off with a strike as Billy moves to the left. Hardwick winning the toss, electing to finish on lane 25, the left side, in both the 1st and 3rd game, which is very important. Let's see how he handles the left side. Billy must feel this is the easier of the 2. But sometimes in practice, one lane will be easier. In the match, it may just turn right around on you. He throws. He looks at that action. Beautiful ball. Hardwick could very well have two. Salvino moves in now with a chance to take the lead early in the first game of 3 on Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio. $70,000 in prizes. Salvino, very deep, never get there, leaves the 2-5.
He was close to the third arrow that time, Fred. I don't think Carmen wanted to be that far in.
This is going to be a very interesting comparison here in styles. Pat Carmen, the extreme inside shooter. Hardwick, of course, staying more to the outside.
Yes, and Carmen twists his ball quite a bit. He gives a lot of turn where Billy has a full roller.
The 2 and the 5, Salvino covered. So we see Carmen going through his acts. This boy has twice won the Best Actor Award in the Professional Bowlers Association. There's nobody even close to him. You were talking about twisting his ball, Pat. In the old days, we used to call that cranking it, didn't we?
Yes. Well, Carmen still has a.
He really
turns it quite a bit.
Really cranks it. It's a little like Ray Bluth. Hurry.
You're right, Fred. They both have a similar way of holding the ball to start with the wrist turned way over to the right. Carmen got out of that one pretty lucky. Could have had a 5-pin count, or he could have had a little bit of a split there if that 5-pin would have stood.
Looked like the 4 or 5 up there. There's a very odd leave, really, for a right-hander. The 4, 7, 8.
That is a very odd leave.
Out. He covers. So for Salvino, it's 37 spare in the third as Billy Hardwick moves in on the right side, now with the chance to take the lead. Carmen had his chance in the second. He couldn't cash the double. The first assignment in a match like this is get your first strike. The second assignment, get your double. There it is.
There's that thin one again, Fred. A lot of action down there.
So Billy Hardwick, a youngster who absolutely defies the inside angle that most of the boys seem to feel has to be played. Now, this boy came along in '63 and in '64 on a PBA tour and introduced more or less the old outside angle as we knew it years ago, Pat. Wouldn't you say
That's
so?
right, Fred, yes. Although Billy can move in.
Oh, man.
I've seen Billy bowl lanes from the inside and do very well. In 1964, he won the ABC singles in all events.
That's right.
And he played a third arrow angle there because I was bowling in the Masters at that time along with him. He played a very deep angle then.
So Hardwick on 3. We're in the 4th. Salvino throws. Got to hurry. And these AMF tournament grade pins here are really flying around, Patrick. Looks like a lot of big scores before we're out of here this week.
Every strike we've had so far, Fred, has been a thin one. The one solid hit left a 10 pin, so you start to wonder sometimes.
Salvino now moving to the left. Carmen with his second opportunity for the double. Hardwick sits on 3. Looks like it's there, and the 10 pin stops Salvino. Carmen Selvino has a nickname. They call him the Spook. He was born in Chicago back in 1933. His wife, Jenny, doesn't do too bad either. She averages around 190. When Carmen was just 16 years old, he shot .738 in American Junior Bowling Congress competition, which is an all-time high. So Carmen now has his spare in the 5th, 77 in the 4th, spare in the 5th. As Billy Hardwick getting their bonus money very quickly here in game number 1 of 3 from the Firestone lanes in Akron, Ohio. Trying for 4, he's there, he's solid, he's got it. So at the end of 5, it's Salvino, 77 spare. Hardwick is on 4, he moves to the left. Billy Hardwick now moving in on the left side. 4 in a row. This one worth $250. Too high, too high, too high, and he has himself the 6-7 split. Well, Pat, we talked about that on the opening of the show. When you get 4 in a row with $250 looking at you, it's a little different. Isn't it?
I think it makes you rush the foul line a little bit. That's what Billy did that time, and he pulled the ball right up into the head pin.
Hardwick, the 6-7. He's going after it. He got it. How about that? A great shot by Billy Hardwick, the San Mateo, California youngster, and he made that look like an easy two-pin spare. So he kept his four-bagger alive. Salvino on the right. We're in the 6th. Carmen with the big turn. He's short again, this time to 2 in the 5. That's the second time he's looked at that one. Carmen seems to be very deep, and his ball seems to be skidding a bit, Pat.
It sure looks like it, Fred. I was watching him in practice. He was striking pretty good, but once the lights go on for the show, you throw just a little bit harder, and I think that's what Carmen's trouble is right now.
The 2 and the 5,
Look
Salvino
out.
covers the spare. Carmen's scratching his head. He can't understand what's happening here. At the end of 5, it's Hardwick out in front by 33 pins. The boys both have spares in the 6th. Salvino now on the left side. Too high, breaks up the 6 and the 7. Carmen was the 1962 Professional Bowler Association National Champion. He won that title in Philadelphia, winning $6,500 in one event. On the 1964 PBA Tour, he won the Jacksonville Open. Won over $11,000 on the 64 Winter Tour. There's the cover in the 7th. Salvino, 114 spare. Hardwick now moving in on the right. Has a comfortable margin here of 33 pins. We're in the first game of 3. Championship bowling. Well, he didn't seem to get enough of that pocket on that one, Pat. The 2 and the 5.
I saw the way he started that ball. He started out to the right a little bit too much, Fred. He's been going straight away with the ball. I guess that split last frame scared him just a little bit. Even though it wasn't the same lane, he compensated on the next lane. Missed that, or almost missed that.
Now the AMF spare maker indicates the ball between the 2 and the 5. Just like that. Very well done. This boy's getting quite a reputation for a great spare shooter, too, isn't he, Pat?
Billy has very few opens. That's what makes him so great. He can get a lot of strikes, and just as we saw when he picked that split, he very accurate. The ball doesn't hook a lot, so it's very easy to control that way.
Of course, actually, this guy will go three games at a crack without missing the pocket. He doesn't have too many difficult spares to shoot at, does he?
You're right, Fred.
There's the ball. Oh, he didn't make too mistakes on that side. So Hardwick is right back, covering up that 6-7 split. He left that in the 6th, comes right back with a strike in the 8th. So at the end of 8, for Hardwick, it's 166 strikes, still a chance for bonus money. And 250, Salvino in the 9th, 8th rather, throws it too high in the 4-7-10. So Carmen, after being short 4 times, thought he would throw one up at the pocket. The ball jumped. He now looks at the 4-7-10. You think this is as tough as the 6-7, Pat? How do you rate these two?
Well, I think everybody feels a little different, probably, Fred. But I think the 6-7 is an easier split because your ball is coming in to the 6 pin when you try to slide it over. On this one here, your ball has to be going away and just catch the 4, and I think it's a little tougher.
In other words, the stuff on the ball has a tendency of pushing that pin to the left easier.
I believe so,
than
yes.
the ball going away and
Right.
pushing the 4 pin across to the 7. There's the big turn. And he leaves the 10 pin.
That's that inside angle, I think, Fred. The ball just doesn't have the finish that it should have from that deep.
Well, Carmen's going to keep looking at Hardwick here for another 2 games. He may do a little moving here if Billy keeps carrying from the outside. Although he's had enough time to find that out in his practice sessions. At the 10 pin, Salvino covers the spare. And Billy Hardwick, the California youngster, born in Florence, Alabama, back in 1941. Throws a 3-finger ball, fingertip. However, he uses his first 2 fingers. Now, he injured his 3rd finger in a machine shop accident while a high school student. Look at that. You know, I was looking at his 3rd finger, Pat, before the show, and actually he has no knuckle in that finger at all. He can't bend it. It's just as straight as a string.
That's right, Fred, and that's the reason he went to the first 2 fingers. He couldn't put that ring finger into the hole of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's done very well by using those first 2.
I think there are a lot of boys around the country experimenting with this right now.
I've tried it quite a bit, Fred, and I like it.
Careful. There it is. 4-7 out of there. So Billy Hardwick now with a chance for $256 and $250 in bonus money if he can get these two. Now, the hit, Pat, that we just looked at is one of the great assets of this fellow's style, or of the result of his style, in that he can kick that 4-7 out of there on a hit that's a little high, where the breaking ball would leave the 4-pin.
Right, Fred. He has that ability now. Don Carter had it when he was great. Well, Don Carter still is great, but
Careful.
when Don was winning the All-Star net, that's what Don's big asset was, kicking that 4. That's a big hit.
Yeah, I can remember a lot of the boys from years back. When you could kick the 4-7 out, you just had to be on and had to be the great bowler that some of them are. Luke Campy was a great guy on that 4-7 years ago. Wrong foot Louis. The 3-6-10 for 243. 243. Billy Hardwick from San Mateo, California, getting off to a tremendous lead over his opponent from Chicago, Carmen Salvino. Carmen doesn't like to be called a veteran. He says he's still a youngster. There we are, Carmen. Now, let's see. We got the big smile. We went through the routine at the foul line. Now, just what is Carmen's thoughts right now, Pat? I finally accomplished something? Is that what he's...
He looked like he tightened the line up a little bit that time, so
yes, he did.
Maybe he's got something now. We'll have to wait and see here. No, he swung it again that time.
Too far, kicks the 2-5 out. He has nothing but the 5-pin, so Carmen Salvino, who has an average of 219 for 36 games on championship bowling. He shot 700 total, 742 and 703. His high game is 280. The winner of the Parkersburg, West Virginia series now finds himself with 180 in the first game. Carmen, of course, will be making another appearance later in our series, and he's going to have to think about this 180 game if he wants to be a finalist again this year. Billy Hardwick, 243. Carmen Salvino, 180. This is championship bowling from the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio. Fred Wolf, along with Pat Patterson, will be back for game number 2 in just a moment. The scores at the end of the first game: Carmen Salvino, 180. For Billy Hardwick, 243. How about that, Akron? Like that? A great start by Billy Hardwick. He had 7 strikes, 4 in a row. Couldn't get the 5th one. Got a little heavy. We're ready for game number 2. Is everybody here ready? Ready? Come on now. Let's go. Help him. Billy Hardwick, San Mateo, California. Out in front by 63 pins. We're in the second game. He's in. He does not carry the 7-pin. And they tell me that an 8-pin is the only tap. Pat, how about that?
Oh, I got to call that one a tap, Fred. He started last game with a solid 10, this game with a solid 7.
That was right about the best spot you could possibly put it. The AMS Spearmaker indicates you should nudge this pin here, the 7-pin, on the right side, and you have the spare, and that's it. Hardwick off to the spare in the first round. Carmen Salvino, who had his troubles in the first game, he was wide open in the 8th, unable to get a double. He had 3 strikes. Been playing very deep. He's out there again. Gets there. And carries the strike.
He's smiling, Fred. He dropped that ball.
Well, he did. There was a spectator just to your right, Pat, who said no. And I believe Carmen heard him, and he turned around, and I think Carmen was as surprised as the fellow sitting over here was.
That ball rolled 63 feet instead of 60 feet.
Well, sometimes dropping a ball like that, you can get a tremendous action, as
Yes,
Carmen did that time. Salvino for 2. Doesn't get there. Almost a 5-pin. He had the 2-5. He got the 2 out. So Salvino still looks for his first double. AMF sets the pace in progress for bowling. You look for the magic triangle and bowl wherever you see the magic triangle from coast to coast and the world over. The 5-pin South. And now with 20 in the first frame is Billy Hardwick, the youngster from San Mateo, California, whose biggest ambition is to win the National All-Star Tournament. In 1964, won the All Events Championship at the ABC in Oakland, also the singles title. Right back. On the 1964 Winter Tour, this young fella picked up $18,500. In 1963, he was the leading money winner on the tour, winning over $33,000. And the interesting part is that in 1962, his winnings were absolutely nothing. There's a double. Which is a very interesting question to ask you, Pat. How can you be on the tour and win nothing, and the next year win $33,000?
Fred, I was on the tour at the same time with Billy, and all the bowlers felt the same way. He had no chance whatsoever, but he came back in '63 with a lot of confidence, a new backer, and just like an overnight sensation, he started bowling, and he hasn't stopped yet. I think it was the experience he gained in '62.
Salvino with a 4-7. Carmen a little high, covers his spare. So Billy Hardwick adds another 12 pins to his margin. Billy's out in front now by approximately 75 pins. We're in the fourth frame of the second game. We're almost halfway. Our statistician, Sam Trophy, well known in these parts, paying attention to these two great stars. Salvino up there. Didn't kick to 10.
He threw that ball very good, Fred. I think it's just the angle that's the reason he's leading that 10-pin stand, because he got out of that ball very good. Good fingers in it.
Salvino started with a strike. Left a 5-pin, a 4-pin, now the 10-pin. Cross lane, little extra speed, covers the spare. So it'll be Hardwick now, knocking on that bonus door again. Billy had 2 cracks at it in the first game. He started with a 10-pin solid, came back with 4, went too high, left a 6-7 for his $250 bonus shot. He picked up strikes in the 8th, 9th, 1st, and the 10th. He needed 2 more. Couldn't get there. Here he comes. He's there. The 7th pin. Well, he got quite a wiggle out of that one.
Did you see the way those pins fell, Fred? That's the roll of his ball. They fell real funny that time. Most other bowlers would have had a bucket on that shot, and he had those pins bouncing all over the place. Got a terrific roll on that ball. But he's still got that 7-pin to shoot at, hasn't he?
Well, he sure does it the easy way, I'll tell you that. This fellow, it does remind you somewhat, I believe, of Don Carter. Now, am I wrong? Do you think so?
No, I think he does too. And the big thing, I think, is that he gets pretty low at the foul line and he stretches way out. He's getting that ball out way over the foul line. But
this is Hardwick's first appearance on championship bowling, incidentally. Come on, boy. Well, he finally was a little short. He has the 2-5. Now, those pins are off spot. The AMF Sparemaker indicates the 2 and the 5, the ball between the 2 and the 5, and he has a little room to make a little mistake here, Pat. You notice how the AMF pin spotter put those pins right back off spot, which, of course, is an ABC requirement. Look out. Nice shot. So Hardwick covers a pretty tough shot in the 5th. He's 87 spare as Salvino moves in on the right side. Carmen trailing by some 75 pins. He has a game and a half to get them back. Hurry up. 10-pin again. Carmen's ball seems to be sliding a bit down there around the pocket, Pat.
Sure does, Fred. He's just a little bit too far in. He probably doesn't realize he's in as far as he is. A lot of times when you're bowling, you drift a little left more than you think you are and get you in a lot of trouble. And I'd say Carmen's in trouble right now, Fred.
He's got the spare, so at the end of 5, game number 2 on championship bowling from the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio. It's Carmen Salvino, 76 spare, Billy Hardwick, 87 spare. Salvino now to the left. Carmen's still looking for his first double. The big arm swing right there, and he's there. No doubt about that one. It's Billy Hardwick now, moving in on the right side. Both these boys wearing bowler's gloves. You find this glove to be beneficial, Pat? You use one, don't you?
Yes, I use it. Yeah. You've got a little void, Fred, between the palm of your hand and the ball, and that sponge center in the center of the glove takes up that space there. Gives you a little bit firmer grip on the ball.
There's a 5-7 by Hardwick. That was a little surprise.
He didn't get the action he expected that time. But if I know Billy, you'll see him sliding it over.
Well, he turned in the 6-7 earlier. Here's a fella that can put a bowling ball on a pinhead back there, they tell you. The 5 and the 7, he's a little to the inside, throws it out, and he made it! How do you like those apples? Well, this boy just looks at 2 pins. It makes no difference where they are, and he turns it into an easy spare. Great eye. We go into the 7th. Salvino sits on a strike. He trails in this game by 9 pins. He lost the first game by 63. And he's got a pretty tough cookie here in Billy Hardwick, who has a big strike going for him in the 7th. So in the 7th, Hardwick, 125 strike as Salvino moves in on the right side, working on a strike in the 6th. Double of the match in the 7th frame of the 2nd game, and Carmen seems very happy now the way things are going for him, but he has a long way to go to catch up to Billy Hardwick. Trail by 72 pins at the end of 5 frames, halfway in game number 2. He has the double. The margin now is around 60 as Salvino goes into the 8th, throws. He's there. He has another one. Well, looks like Carmen's got things straightened out here temporarily, at least, Pat.
Sure does, Freddie.
Billy Hardwick now moving in on the right. Billy's on a strike. Here's where this fella shines. His opponent gets a double in front of him. Billy will try to follow it. He sets it. Here it comes. He's there, number 2. So both boys now moving into the 9th frame, both with a chance for bonus money. Hardwick has 2. He will need 1 in the 9th and his first 2 in the 10th. Salvino will need 1 in the 9th and his first strike in the 10th at the end of 8. It's Salvino. 126 double. Hardwick, 125 double. Hardwick has another one. So Billy Hardwick, the youngster from San Mateo, California, 20 miles south of San Francisco. He only weighs 154 pounds, playing extreme outside angle. Not extreme, but to the outside. Salvino playing the very tight inside angle in the 9th on 3. Got to hurry. He gets there. There was a good ball.
That was a beauty. Carmen's coming through the ball real well now.
Well, here we go again for $250. The winner of championship bowling in Parkersburg, West Virginia, Carmen Salvino of Chicago. There it is. Well, Carmen cashes the pay window, and that'll up his loser's share. If he can't catch Hardwick, he still will come out of here with at least $750. And here's a chance to make it $800. We're on 5. Salvino throws. Here she comes. Well, I want to ask you a question, Pat. You've been through these championship bowling shows many, many times. Do you feel that possibly, even though Carmen has been in many of them, that the first game he was just sort of didn't fall into the situation of being on camera and this type of thing? He wasn't himself, was he?
That could very easily be it, Fred. It's hard to think of Carmen'd ever be like that.
$245, and that costs $50. That 10-pin, a $50 tap for Salvino. He comes out with 6 in a row, and that gives Carmen an additional $300. And Billy Hardwick, moving in on the right side now, has a chance to match Salvino's $245. He must go all the way, and if he does, he's going to pick up additional bonus money. He is on 3. Look out. He kicked that 4-pin out of there.
There's that high ball again, Fred.
Yes, sir.
It's one of Billy's big hits.
Great action on that 4-pin. It just seemed to float. And now let's see how Billy can handle this $250 ball. Hardwick can go all the way for $245. That's, look out. That will never carry the 4. He has the 4-7-10.
I'll tell you, Fred, that one fooled Billy because he thought he had a chance for a strike. And so did I. It didn't look but just a little bit higher than the last ball.
Billy Hardwick. And he lost a lot of ground here to his opponent, Carmen Salvino, who trailed in this game but caught Hardwick and closed with 245 against Hardwick's 2. He's not going to make this one, 2. Almost. Billy's made everything he's looked at. So for Hardwick, it's 230. For Carmen Salvino, 245. So Salvino picks up 15 pins. We're ready now for game number 3. $1,000 goes to the winner, $500 to the runner-up here in Akron, Ohio on Championship Bowling. This is Fred Wolf along with Pat Patterson, television's #1 bowling show, Championship Bowling, coming to you from the Firestone Lanes, home of the Professional Bowlers Association. Here are the scores for the second game. Billy Hardwick going along with 230 on top of his 243 game. For Salvino, the winner of the second game, with 245. Let's give both boys a nice hand. Great for one. So at the end of 2 games, it's Salvino 425, Billy Hardwick 473. Are you ready for game number 3? Carmen Salvino starting the third and final game. He trails by 48 pins. His opponent, Billy Hardwick, out in front. Salvino throws, doesn't get there, and he leaves himself the 2 and the 4. We don't see this one very often, Pat, do you really, for a right-hander?
No, normally when you hit thin like that, you leave that 5 pin. The 2-5 is more common than the 2-4 or the 2-4-5.
Seems to be varying his speed a little bit. He threw that one pretty hard.
Yes, he did.
Hurry up. He got there. 2 and the 4. Salvino with a spare. Billy Hardwick with 473. Billy has had 2 chances to cash with bonus money. He's had 4 in a row twice. 4 in a row in the first game. Couldn't get the strike in the 6th frame. 4 in a row in the second game. Couldn't get the second strike in the 10th throws. He's there. He's in. He does not carry the 10-pin.
That ball was just a little bit light, Fred. That's a normal 10-pin hit there. It wasn't packed like the first frame of the first 2 games were for Bill.
There's quite a story about this young fella. When he went on the tour in 1962, of course, as we mentioned earlier, he did not cash, not even $1. In 1963, he was a leading money winner on the PBA tour. This fella wanted to be a professional bowler so badly that he sold 30 shares at $100 a share to friends of his out in California, made the tour, and after expenses, I understand each of the shareholders received $260. Not a bad investment.
That's a pretty good investment, I'd say, Fred.
And I think it made a great star out of Billy Hardwick. San Mateo, California. Look at that action, and nothing touched the 7-pin. What causes that?
Fred, that's a hit there that will always baffle me. I really don't know. You see that an awful lot. Pins flying all over, but nothing gets to that 7-pin.
Everything happens in front of it, doesn't it?
It sure seems like it, yes. The 5-pin slides in front and then goes right on around it.
The cover by Hardwick at the end of the first frame. It's Hardwick, 19 with a spare, as Salvino moves in on the right side, still trailing by 48 pins. Come on. There's a good ball. It's an amazing thing, too. I imagine it is to the viewer and to the spectators here at the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio, how 2 boys can get the great results that these boys can get, and one throw the ball from the outside angle, and Carmen being so deep, you wonder which way is the correct way.
Well, I was practicing yesterday with the boys, Fred, and I was playing both angles and doing pretty well at both angles.
There's a double, and Salvino now getting into position for the run to the wire. Salvino on 2. A long string here by the Chicago veteran, of course, can make Mr. Hardwick hustle. He has a lead now of only 38 pins. Carmen has his double. Hardwick is on a spare. Hey, he carries. Billy Hardwick now moves to the left. Billy's on a strike in the 3rd. Observe brotherhood all year long, not just during Brotherhood Week. Respect the rights of the other human beings, regardless of color and creed, and teach your children to do the same thing. Billy now on the left side, on a strike. He better get this one or Carmen will be right on him. There it is. Boy, that ball went in there like mush. It just seemed to push everything aside.
That's the big ball nowadays, Fred. Keep those pins down low. Don't make them fly off the pin deck too fast.
Salvino moving in on the right side. Carmen is on 2. The very deep angle again. The big turn. Here it comes. Here it comes. He got away with it. Well, Carmen is showing us all kinds of strikes. He's been solid. He's been thin. He carried a couple that he didn't even think he was going to get to.
He was a little faster on that one now, Fred, but he got just enough of the head pin to get that shaker. That's a big hit nowadays, too.
And the margin still 37 pins. Hardwick is out in front. Salvino, look out. Too high. He broke up the 6-7. He almost got a piece of that 6-pin. So Carmen has stopped his string at 3. Hardwick now can come back with 1 and still keep that 48-pin margin. Carmen, when somebody refers to him as a veteran, always seems to have one stock answer. He says, I'm not an old man, I'm still a boy. There's the cover.
That's right, Fred, but he's been bowling a long time.
That's right, he's been in the game so long. When he was just 16 years old, he won an AJBC title. When he was 20 years old, he had already won an ABC title in Seattle in 1954. Hardwick in the 5th. Look at that. Yeah, just a picture. There were shades of Don Carter on that one. It looked like it all the way. So Hardwick now moves left. He's on a triple. Salvino is 99 with a spare, and we're at the end of the 5th frame of the 3rd game. We're in the 6th. This game is even. Hardwick is on 3. There's another one until he gets his 3rd opportunity for bonus money. So Hardwick now has added 10 pins to his margin. The margin now up to 58 pins. Set there. He's got it. So Carmen now moving over to the left side. Salvino going in with 423, 425. Hardwick with 473. Salvino with a long string here can come out with a very fine 3-game total. Salvino now is going to look at a 700 total if Hardwick can fill in the last 4 frames. He needs 227. Salvino in the 7th. That's there. There's another one. So these boys have really been lining him in there in the last 2 games. Carmen got a bad start. Couldn't get a double in the 1st frame with 1 open for 180. Hardwick coming through with 243. In the 2nd game, he had 4 in a row. He needed his 2nd in the 10th. Couldn't get the 5th. Here he is in game number 3 with 4 in a row going into the 7th. Hardwick gives it a try. He throws it. He picks it up. So on the 3rd try, he made good, Pat.
Well, the 3rd time's a charm, Fred. He can just go all the way now. He can pick up another 250.
He didn't make a mistake on that one. That was really in there. $50 a strike now for Hardwick the rest of the way. Hurry. 7-pin. And Billy has stopped at 5. And that actually gives Salvino room if he can go all the way for 269. This would make Hardwick shoot 221. So Billy will have to mark in the 9th and 10th. So it's not in the bag yet.
No, there's still room, Fred. Billy didn't quite kick that ball. You could hear it hitting the thumb hole on the way down.
That sometimes doesn't really make a lot of difference going over the thumb hole if you can get the ball in the right spot, does it?
Right. There's a lot of good bowlers. Fred hit the thumb hole quite a bit and still bowl real good.
Salvino is on 2. He only has one way to go. Of course, he still has a chance to win bonus money. He's on 2. If he can get this one and his strike in the 9th, he will force Hardwick to mark in the 9th and 10th. Doesn't get there. Too high. The 4-7. That 10th pin finally went out of there. Carmen Salvino won the Chicago match game title twice, won the Rich DeVito Classic in Chicago. And in 1960, Carmen led the Chicago Classic League with 210 average. And we go into the 9th. Billy Hardwick leading in this, game number 3, by 11 pins. His margin, 59 overall, 2 frames to go. Even though Salvino will lose this match, he still could become a finalist. It's 6 games. There it is. There's $1,000, which goes to the winner of each match. 24, the world's greatest bowlers in action here on championship bowling from the Firestone lanes in Akron, Ohio. Television's #1 bowling show. Each bowler makes 2 appearances. His total pinfall for the 6 games will qualify the top 2 for the $15,000 added purse in the finals. 4 pins stops Hardwick in the 9th.
There's an unusual one for Billy, Fred. He normally carries that 4. He expects to carry it. A lot of us, when we carry a high one once in a while, we're happy, but Billy actually expects to carry that 4 all the time.
Well, I suppose if you keep carrying him, you might just as well expect it, and this
You're
boy
right.
has done that. The 1964 American Bowling Congress singles champion and all events champion, Oakland, California. Hardwick covers in the 9th. Billy has a chance for 247. That's quite a rut, isn't it? 243, 230, and 247. He has his 700 in the bag. Well, he hasn't. He's got to mark in the 10th.
He has to strike, Fred. He's on 237, 227 right now. Oh, no, he's on 237.
237.
Yeah.
Still got to have a mark. There you got it. Boy, look at that action. I saw the 5-7 up there, Pat.
Notice that 1 pin came off the wall and took both pins out, though.
Yep.
We call it the wall shot. That's a big strike nowadays.
That's the wall shot. This boy's pretty good at that, too, isn't he?
Yes, he
These
is.
left-handers do very well off the wall.
The
Bill
left-
Allen, Johnny Meyer.
Left-handers carry a lot of pins like that, yeah.
You'll see them all here on Championship Bowling. Hardwick in there this time leaves the 4. He'll settle for 237, and that should give him 710 unofficially. Salvino has a chance for 247. Salvino could have 672, and that's a pretty good performance for 2 of the real great stars in this game today. Billy Hardwick from San Mateo, California. Carmen Salvino from Chicago. When we say the world's greatest bowlers in action here on Championship Bowling, believe me, we have them. Along with these 2, boys like Billy Whaley, Ray Bluth, Harry Smith, and Pat Patterson. Jimmy St. John, to name a few of them. Salvino with a double. So Salvino, who started with 180, comes back with 245. He needs this strike and 8 for another 245. And that's coming back pretty good, Pat.
If he'd got off to a good start, Fred, he'd have been pushing Billy all the way, but that 180 sure wasn't much with Billy's 243 that first game.
Here it comes. There it is. So Salvino will win the last 2 games in 2 great games, 245 to 230. Salvino won the second game. This game, he will win 247 with a full count to 237. 710 for Hardwick. The full count here, 672 for Carmen Selvino. Here it comes. And that's the score. Finishing with 4 in a row, and Carmen would like to throw 1 more. We're sorry, Carmen, but it's all over. Championship Bowling. Now, we'll have a word or 2 with these 2 great champions, in just a moment. Right now, this is Fred Wolf along with Pat Patterson with television's #1 bowling show, Championship Bowling, coming from the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio, where the World Series of Golf is played annually. Here are the final scores. Carmen Salvino, 180, 245, and 247 for 672. For Billy Hardwick, 243, 230, and 237, the total 710. How did you enjoy this match? Very well done, boys. I'll work with you first, Carmen. There's the runner-up share, $500. You also win $300 in bonus money.
Wait a minute. Why didn't I get a chance? That's what I want to ask you. If you get 4 in a row, is this correct?
Yes.
You have a shot at the 5th strike, right?
But your game was over.
Didn't I get 4 in a row?
Yes.
Don't I get a shot at my 5th strike?
You wanted a shot at your 5th strike?
I have it.
Go ahead. Shall we let him, Billy?
That's all right.
All right. Can you get over this? No, I'm not going to bother you. I don't know what to say now. I didn't say that we could still pay you, and I'll give you another blank check. I'll see you later.
Okay.
But according to ABC rules, of which all competition here is governed by, you are throwing a ball outside of your game, so we're very sorry that you do not get $250 in additional bonus money.
Wait a minute. That's ABC rules.
Yes.
I'm playing Salvino
Oh,
rules.
Salvino rules. Billy, we're only having a little fun. There's your $250 bonus money, $1,000 for winning your first match on Championship Bowling. This is your first appearance. I wonder, how did you enjoy yourself?
Well, it's fun. Anytime we make money, we have fun.
Fun to win. Billy, we expect to see you around here for a long time.
Well, I hope so, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Billy Hardwick, you'll see both these boys again in another match. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you, buddy.
And keep bowling the way you're bowling right now. Don't go away. We expect to visit again here on Championship Bowling from Esther Woods. Well, it's time once again to welcome on Championship Bowling our great All-American and fine instructress, Esther Woods. Esther, nice to see you again.
Nice to be back, Fred, on Championship Bowling.
Now, this week, Esther, we have a little job for you to do. We specifically want you to explain to the ladies in our audience how they can overcome throwing a backup ball.
Well, first of all, Fred, we don't call it a backup ball anymore. We call it a reverse hook.
Oh?
Well, you know, when a man delivers a bowling ball, if he's a normal right-handed bowler, the arm swings straight and the ball goes down into the 1-3 pocket and hooks from right to left. But this isn't true with the ladies because the ball starts out over here in the center and hooks over to the right side of the lane. Now, this is true with most of our beginners, and we do not like this reverse hook. But we have to live with it, so we're going to teach you something about it. And I'd like to call Paula up here to deliver that ball for us.
I'd like to see it.
All right. Paula, will you deliver the backup ball for us now, or the reverse hook? Now, turn your thumb around here and swing that ball out over the foul line. Notice the ball going off to the right of the lane. Now, Sandy, would you come up, please, and let's show them how we correct this reverse hook. All right, now your thumb is over to the left, your hand is nice and straight on the ball, and keep your hand swinging straight. All right, now deliver the ball for a hook. Watch the ball go down there and then move in to the left. There it is, girls. That's the secret. In order to correct that reverse hook, keep the thumb over here inside, the hand nice and straight, and the palm of the hand on the side of the ball.
Well, I think you've solved the secret, Esther, and thank you very much. It seems as though none of the ladies in the audience should be throwing that, what do you call it, reverse hook.
Reverse hook.
Thank you very much, Esther Woods, one of our great instructresses. Good luck to you.
Fred.
Well, that's about it. Sure hope you can join us here again next week on Championship Bowling, television's #1 bowling show that originates here at the Firestone Bowl A Rama Lanes in Akron, Ohio. Each week, you see two of the world's greatest bowlers in match game competition for a purse of over $70,000. Until next week, this is Fred Wolf. Try to join us. In the meantime, keep 'em bowling out there. Matching shirts and slacks used on championship bowling by King Louie. Championship bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, and we wish to thank AMF for their cooperation in helping us to produce championship bowling.